Oh boy, Mo's here.
I'm
Andy's
home.
here. We're
Andy's
gonna do a
home.
little Turkey Day edition. We're gonna talk about some of the not just ones. I didn't let Mo handpick these this week. We're sticking with ones we like. Sticking with the big. Well, not only that, it's Wednesday. I didn't want to make Matoy work on a Friday. I certainly didn't want to work on a Friday. So a little less to work with. The markets are a little less developed at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
You know, it's
You could say
some of
that.
them. Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the full gamut of bets. Whoa, what was that? Are you holding in a sneeze there? What was that thing?
Yeah, it was kind of a
It's like a little
sneeze. Yeah.
little bit of a nervous tick. Jesus Christ! I'm gonna clip that and turn it into a GIF.
You
Honest to
can't do
God.
it,
So
please.
I have a producer to do that. Either way, yeah, we're gonna get into some Thursday games. We're gonna get into some Saturday games. I think we're avoiding Sunday altogether.
Yeah.
Tell you the truth. And then we'll probably talk some FCS. And then, yeah, if any questions, hit me in the comment box. You know I'm here for you. Otherwise, I mean, before we get going, I guess, Matoy, what's the Thanksgiving plan? Every show I've watched for like the last 3 days is how they start. So I feel like I have to, too.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna be with the family. Probably. We had the talk about, usually or in the past, like I've had a lot of family that's lived here, and it's kind of been dwindling between like cousins and aunts that either moved or whatever. But I'll just have a regular Thanksgiving with my family on Thursday. I'm off. They gave me the day off, which I'm thankful for on that alone. So I'll probably just be drinking beers with my dad and watching the games. I think that's
I
probably
like that. I like
the
that.
yeah.
I'm thankful for your candidness.
It's
You're
fair.
not, you're not, you won't be bringing a girl back to the old family Thanksgiving?
I don't know if any girls want to just
You
go
don't have a
back and
date?
watch the games yet with me. Maybe for like the Bills game. I don't know. They're doing their
Well,
own thing.
maybe a bit of a goal for next year.
That's all right. That's fair.
You're gonna bring a girl to Thanksgiving next year.
She's
I'll
gonna be
bring
the one
one.
doing this show. I can guarantee that.
I'll see if they get a female trader. I would love to have her on rather than you. That
Yeah, that
that tick a
that's
lot of
that's
boxes.
fair. I'm okay with that.
First female
Equality.
trader to be featured. Equality is all over it. So speaking of equality, these teams are equally shitty. Um, not really in
Excellent
the eyes of the
segue.
not really in the eyes of the market. In the eyes of the market, Chicago's a few points better, even on the road. We've had some quarterback shenanigans. I think Goff plays. Tell you the truth, what does this number do? I mean, it's whatever you want to talk about, whatever market. I know the totals come down. The side has come a little bit towards the home team, but I think with Andy Dalton playing, and I talked to Drew about this, I have him as a slight upgrade from Justin Fields, which is something that Andy Dalton is an upgrade from someone in this the year of our Lord 2021. But what about the Goff Tim Boyle situation? Are you just kind of doesn't matter that much, or where are we
Yeah,
at?
I don't think so. And like it kind of showed that the Lions were running the ball mostly anyway in that game against the Browns.
Yeah.
They only had so much time to prepare anyway with Boyle, but we opened 2.5. We were just laughing about it's tough to have either team's favorite, like either of these teams laying points is ridiculous enough. On Thanksgiving, it's just as crazy as that. So, we opened 2.5 and got some Bears money early, and we opened these last Friday. So, I mean, we've seen at least a decent amount of bets up until some Lions team, and I think a few of us, again, like Lions in the back room, which is insanity. So we kind of creeped it down from 3.5 to 320 on our end, and then we've seen some sharp Lions bets. We've seen a couple respected bettors get down online, and I think right now we're at 3 minus 20 on the dog. So I mean, we might be creeping down to 2.5 by tomorrow. So that's what I figure anyway. We haven't seen much on the total. I mean, it kind of got annihilated early, which is it's at 41.5, but we haven't seen anything on the total as of late.
As far as handle on something like this too, are you going to get an unusually large handle on a Bears Lions garbage game just because it is, a bit of an island game?
That's okay. I see what you did there. Yes. Yeah. I mean, these all get pretty decent handle. I mean, from books that I've already seen or that I've worked with. So I don't know if this will be as big as the other two games that we'll talk about, but it'll be a decent amount of handle. Plus, I mean, a lot of people that are going to be betting these games, I'm assuming, are going to play the most early, and if they can win, they're going to try to roll it over on these other two games. So I mean, we'll
Yeah,
see quite a bit on this game.
you just keep rolling it, baby. I
That's all
like
you have to
that.
do. Name of the game.
Buddies, oh godly, and I'm just crushing Champions League right now, Mo. It's not. It's like child's play. Taking the soccer money from the books, not from you, of course.
I wanted to tell you how I lost my Oregon Houston second half under. It was an absolute tragedy. Yeah, they missed 4 free throws at the end of the game. I mean, all I needed was a point. I mean, they were.
So we had overtime. Is what you're saying?
Huh?
We had overtime or what?
No, it was Houston was up by 30 the whole game. So I mean, usually they slow down in a game like that, but a total 67 and a half. Oregon still fought, and Houston missed 2 or 4 free throws in a row. I just needed a point with 20 seconds left. So I mean, just college basketball, the standard stuff.
Just college basketball stuff. I was talking about one the other day with your guys, the Bows. I think it was a first round tournament game against Maryland, maybe it was a second round. I know it was the first weekend, but they were getting killed and they started fouling intentionally with 8 minutes left, and we had the under. And that's where you just rip them. There needs to be 40 more points at that point, and you still just rip your ticket up. It's
yeah, well, that's the last.
Fuck college.
In a situation like that, it's their last game they're going to play, so they're going till the end.
Yeah,
we're going to lengthen this game.
You guys are down 23 and we're fouling. What is going on here?
Nobody, no cares, dude.
No cares. So, all right, back to the land of the football. Raiders, boys. CD Lamb is looking healthy, looking good, practicing a little. He still does need to clear the independent neurologist and the other guy. I know there's a team of 2 people that need to give you the the blessing to go out on the field. Short week, a little rough. Coop is out because of the Rona, and he has to sit the full 10 days because he does not have a vax card. No. Otherwise, Vegas is playing, and you're a local. Tell me about these Raiders. They're playing like they wish this was week 18 and they go golfing. They look.
Yeah, I'm not.
They're averaging 14 points a game, man. This is rough. Are you going to see a bunch of teaser money on this?
I did before they got to Vegas, personally. As a team, I mean, that has nothing to do with booking, obviously. So,
maybe Lions up to 9, Cowboys down to 1.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what a lot of people are thinking already. If they haven't put those Wong type of deals in. We opened 7. I think we were pretty strong in that, as far as not having an overreaction from Raiders getting blown out and Cowboys obviously getting dominated in Arrowhead. And then, this thing got bet up maybe yesterday to 8, which is where we're at now. It's funny. This is the first time I've ever seen a Cowboys total get steamed on the under. So from 55 to 51 is a pretty, that's a pretty wild move, later in the season like this one, and definitely how the Cowboys games have been turning out. I think the ticket count's pretty high on Cowboys, and I can't imagine that stopping up until kick. I mean, people they're gonna hammer Cowboys no matter what.
How about them boys? And I think maybe too, people saw the Bengals run very successfully on the Raiders. People saw the Cowboys offense kind of take a step back. And if Cooper and Lamb both sit, what do? Tony Pollard gets 28 carries.
Dalton Schultz, 450 yards receiving in one game.
It's another, I get the understeam. Cowboys defense playing up a little and then maybe running the ball a little more with some wide receivers out. I get it. You might not feel good if you take the late number. Yeah, the 55, congrats. But yeah, I'm certainly staying. I did say I like all 3 unders on Thursday. So, maybe that's the old Bovada 10-point sweetheart teaser.
Yeah, that's probably it, man. I mean, on these games too.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't tease totals, people. Buffalo at the Aints. Buffalo got to get that slump buster. Buffalo also is not bringing a girl to Thanksgiving. They are looked down on by the market right now. They need to figure this out, get it back on the straight and narrow. They go to oh shit, I mean, I shouldn't even say the name of this place because it's a competitor. We'll just say the Dome, the
Yeah,
Superdome.
the Dome. Yeah,
The Superdome.
the Sea Dome.
We won't even call it what it is because it's a dirty competitor at this
Yeah,
point.
it's
But
disgusting.
yes,
I can't.
the
I'm not
Saints are
involved there.
looking like they ain't gonna get Kamara back for this. Looking like it's gonna be possibly a dinged up Ingram, and then you got Simeon, and you've got your tight end just got paid, but also kind of got a quarterback contract too. I don't know what the hell's going on down there. What can I actually see in here? And honestly, kind of a low total for a Bills game.
Yeah, no, we opened 4 and immediately got ran up by guys that we respect. Not only respected money, but it just looks like it's going to be a lot of public money too. There's not going to be any interest on Saints. I can tell you that right now. I mean, not just because of what happened last week, but I don't know, just lackluster performance from Simeon. Regardless if you know who Simeon is or not, people could just look at a box score and say, I mean, I can't believe this guy's playing quarterback. So, regardless of that, they're not going to be betting him. Not too much money on the total. I mean, obviously the market moved, in favor of the under, but nothing as crazy. I just know that just like the Cowboys, like Bills will probably be something that we won't need. There might be some buyback on Saints because the number might get out of hand at some point at some of these markets. Maybe it gets to 7. Who knows? But for right now, it's just all Bills.
Little dangerous teasing the road favorite, but yeah, if this is sitting at like 7.5, 7, I bet you see people throw this one in teasers too. There's gonna be Bills, Cowboys money line parlays. Like you're gonna have a bad Thursday if it goes. Even I think regardless of how the Bears game goes, you're probably gonna have a bad Thursday if these late games go chalky. So
Yeah,
hopefully
no,
college goes all right for
well,
you.
on before we move on to college, Sawyer wanted me to tell you about props that we have. Some unique props that we're doing on Thanksgiving. Yeah, young Guile in the building. I never knew young Guile would be making props. I figured he'd follow in his dad's footsteps, if anything.
Do tell.
But we have most rushing and receiving touchdowns and most rushing and receiving yards for essentially a list of players. So for the Cowboys and can't even think of the game, Cowboys Raiders, we'll have a list of like the most receiving plus rushing yards for a group of players that you could bet on between
sure.
CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, Pollard, guys like that, and then also touchdowns. So I mean, you'll be able to do rushing and receiving touchdowns, rushing and receiving yards, not only for each game in particular, but for the whole Thanksgiving in itself. So I mean, it's a pretty.
You talk to your people over there. I know you're at work right now. I can see you in the conference room. Have them make. Are they going to tweet this out? Get a graphic.
Yeah, no, I think we're getting a graphic on it now, but I definitely wanted to talk about it on the show.
If you put something out, you got a retweet from me.
Yeah, no, cool. It's 100%.
Guaranteed RT from me. I will retweet that. I might even do it from the BetSports account. I have access.
Yeah, you'll like it. I mean, it's the hold is it's not as generous, but I mean it's a fun deal for Thanksgiving.
I like how you're honest about it.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's a prop. It's a prop market. We're not giving you dime lines.
Oh, when that day comes, then the hold will definitely be more generous.
Yeah, we'll get there. So college. Going to be happening. No college tonight as we sit here and speak to each other on a Wednesday.
Very unfortunate.
There's no college. Very unfortunate. I'm going to have to hang out with my family tonight, which stinks because I'm going to hang out with them all weekend. But where's college tomorrow? And of course, in the evening, competing with the late games, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, people pretending like they're dogs peeing on hydrants, mass hysteria. This is a bit of a fun one too, as far as we have a top 10 team versus their in-state rival here. This is in Oxford.
I think it's at Mississippi State, right?
Yeah. What's the other name of the other city? Oxford and
I don't know how I don't know that. I know if I see it, I'm going to get mad.
Yeah, no, it's right in the tip of my tongue. Either way, it is not in Oxford.
Dan should be checking that out, if anything.
I know. Dan's eating ice cream at some fancy shop in Minneapolis right now. Either way, this is not in Oxford. It is in the other city, which I will look up while you talk about this market. Currently, The unranked team is a small home favorite and a nice size total here.
Yeah, we opened Ole Miss too. So, the majority of people that, kind of shaped this market told us immediately. So we took a bunch of Mississippi State from +2 to 1 to pick, and now we're at 1.5 now. So, we're essentially loaded up on Bulldogs. And, I'm still waiting on someone's going to bet Ole Miss at some point, and I'll be waiting on it tomorrow. So if it starts to drift back, we'll be back around pick, because I thought it was around pick to begin with, and I feel like Mississippi State's been playing incredible football. No one's really been talking about it. Even a Leach coached football team that hasn't been talked about is wild to me. Considering all the wacky things he does, but it's all been Mississippi State right now. Not much on the total, but I'm waiting for Ole Miss money because no Ole Miss money is ridiculous to me. It'll be here tomorrow.
I don't know where I'd want to sit if I were needing Kiffin or needing Leach, I guess. And maybe people are afraid to bet on Ole Miss in Starkville, Mississippi, which is where this game will be played. So,
Starkville.
Yeah. So you're projecting maybe some two-way action eventually here.
Yeah, because there is, man. If we could just get a Kiffin bet, that'd be great. If anybody wants to bet, please.
I think he's halfway to Gainesville anyway. Regardless, up north my way in Pure, Michigan, again, a couple of one-loss teams going at it with each other. And again, Ohio State is a decent-sized favorite. If this were in Columbus, they'd be a double-digit favorite. So you can tell that there is a gap between Ohio State and the Michigan schools. We saw the gap was not big enough last week by the market in an absolute trucking. I have Stroud tickets coming out of my ears. Not really out of my ears. I have more than 2 Stroud tickets.
That's okay. That's a lot.
I would like, I don't care what happens on the defensive side. I'd like Michigan to score. I'd like Stroud to play a full game. I'd like to throw him 8 touchdowns. I want to sew this up, stamp it, put it in the mail, and start cashing these tickets.
Send it. Airmail.
And honestly, we still don't know. There's 3 different teams that we could be having out of the Big Ten West yet. I think Minnesota still has a path to finding its way into the ass whooping from Ohio State eventually here. But Ohio State do need to get this done first. A nice size total. How much of that is based off the fact that Ohio State can kind of run it up?
That's what the point. Like, we already first off, we thought the Michigan State total was pretty high when we threw that up. And after that game, not only did our line get smoked from 6 to 8, which is where it's at now, but the total just got blasted anyway. So I actually had to go look at the splits for this game, and it's like 90% tickets on Ohio State and 90% tickets on the over. So I mean, it's all over. It's all Ohio State. I honestly don't see anybody betting Mich. We're gonna need Michigan at some big. Because from what it looks like right now, the money is already overwhelming enough. I just don't know if we can get enough handle on Michigan to kind of clot that per se, just to kind of keep us on pretty honest with us opening Michigan at 4.5, which I'm still proud. I don't care. I want to see the results first before everyone is starts crying about the line. So I'm still confident. I have to be. I have no choice.
Why don't you go hang a 10? See if you can tickle some Michigan money.
Oh man, one of our buddies back there, my buddy John, says let's just go to 14. Why not?
Jeez, I thought I was being outrageous. Fucking John, this John.
Let's go to 14.
I like him.
He's good. He's nice.
I like John. I don't know who that is. I don't know somebody.
You know him in a spiritual way, I guess.
That's one of the weirder things. It's one of the weirder things you've ever said to me. Bedlam. Bedlam is in Stillwater. These teams, I don't know all the ins and outs and the particulars of what else needs to happen, but these teams have a pretty fair chance of playing each other a couple times in a row.
Yep.
Obviously, the rankings are what they are. The college football playoff rankings are what they are. Oklahoma State probably has the better shot. If either of these teams were to sweep each other, I think the Cowboys have a better shot at the playoff than Oklahoma. Caleb Williams kind of sucks, honestly. I'm just going to say that. He had a couple fun games. I'm not a Williams guy. I'm not a Rattler guy either, but Okie State -4, total 51. Yeah, is Bedlam just, it's not neutral. It's not like Red River. This is in Stillwater.
This will be in Stillwater. Yeah, so we opened pick basically at the same time when we opened Ohio State last week. And I mean, that number was fair. Between a pick and one, I thought it was a pretty good. And I still think this number is insanity, like it getting steamed like this. And again, that Oklahoma State can barely hang, even though they've been dominating opponents. And, right after that Texas Tech win they had, this thing got steamed up. And we took a fair amount of Oklahoma State money up until 4 is where we're at now. I think the more interesting part is the total getting steamed down. Maybe it's on Oklahoma's part where their offense is a little bit more inept than what it's been. And I think Oklahoma's defense, obviously it hasn't been, their defense is pretty bad all the time, but they've been stopping the bleeding and kind of giving their offense a chance to win a lot of these games. Yeah. So, regardless for me to say that, maybe we might see some over money tomorrow, which I possibly think where we opened from initially. But, to me, I don't know how much more money on Oklahoma State we could take because I just think from pick to 4 it just seems crazy in a game like this.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm cheering for Oklahoma State. You know what? The more I thought about it today, I don't give a shit who gets the 4 seed.
Well, I think it doesn't
unless Alabama, if
Oklahoma State wins and Baylor wins, I think Baylor gets the tiebreaker. I think Baylor gets in the Big 12 champ if Baylor wins against I forgot who. I think they play Texas Tech.
Texas Tech is right.
Yeah. So, but
either way, like when it all shakes out in 2 weeks, I'd rather see Oklahoma State with 1 loss still on their record.
There can't.
I think
be.
They have a better shot. And also with the 4 seed, I don't think it matters.
What about this theory?
Oklahoma State, that nobody's hanging with this Georgia D.
Check out this. Yeah, no. Well, Georgia is never going to lose. You can mark that down. But what do you think about this theory? So, like the Big 12 champ wins. Maybe it's like Oklahoma, more or less, but Alabama loses, and Cincy gets the 3 seed, and then Notre Dame hops both those guys to get the 4 seed. Do you think that's possible?
What's the line? Is that a Peach Bowl? Again, don't look this up because it doesn't matter. It's a neutral. What's that line then? Stroud on a neutral versus an effing AAC team. A very good AAC team.
I think we had
17.
I think we had 14.5. But that I haven't updated it since last week. I think it was like 14.5. So
that's getting bet to 18, by the way.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, without adjusting, I think it was definitely 2 touchdowns, obviously. But that was like when I was like doing a bunch of the ratings prior. That was like one of the keys that I was making. I always wanted to see where Cincy was against like these top teams, because like if you had it too high, like if you had Cincy too high, you knew where they were supposed to be, because you can't have like Cincy as a 10-point dog to Ohio State or like a 13-point dog to Georgia. You know what I mean? Like it was almost like the threshold of where everything should be, where Cincinnati was at. It was so weird.
And that's the other thing. I don't believe, even with Alabama. And I don't know. I do think a 2-loss Alabama probably ends up out, although just they have this weird relationship with the committee where it wouldn't surprise me. But if Bama's out, Georgia and Ohio State, like there's no way you're seeing a single-digit spread in either semifinal.
Yeah, without. I mean, they're
both. You might not see one within 2 scores. Like, it's just that. So that's where I'm coming from. Is I don't know if it matters. Ohio State and Georgia are playing for the title, guys.
Well, it's all due to the optics of who gets in, whether it's like a big name like Alabama, obviously, or Oklahoma State. I'm saying Notre Dame is obviously a big name, but for them to come from behind and jump all these teams to get the 4 seed, if like something wacky happens, I mean, that's possible. But then we'll have to watch them get blown out by 60 against Georgia. Like that would be the unfortunate part, if that did happen.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, enough stupid playoff talk. Let's talk about the real playoffs. The FCS playoffs are underway. Your North Dakota State Fighting Bisons are the betting favorite right now. James Madison, Sam Houston, not too far behind. My Jackrabbits right there. Montana Nova, Southern Illy, the Salukis, Montana State, and the Sacramento State Fighting Bees.
Yeah, the Hornets.
Hornets?
Bees,
I call all Hornets bees.
Bees are Hornets.
Rounding out the field. Your FCS stuff has been up and down. You had another good week, but we want to talk a little futures. Sell me this pen. Give me a future.
Oh man, well,
don't just take JM.
No, I have to. Well, no, I have to.
Okay, we will. Let's put a pin in it. We're taking JM, and we're adding another one.
Oh man,
from the other side of the bracket.
And it's very. I think East Tennessee State is just as talented and has played up to like their standards to be, like a threat. And I think they have one of the buys too. They're the only unfortunate part is that they're in the North Dakota State bracket, and Bison are, but in a game like that,
hence the price.
In my opinion, if they got to hang with North Dakota State, but at 50-1 or 60-1, at certain places, considering ours, I think we're a bit lower. But if you're looking for like a long shot that no one's talking about, I think East Tennessee State is not a bad choice. Even though I'm going to stick with James Madison no matter what. So, I think the Bucks are a good out. It's tough. I don't know if I've been low on North Dakota State. It's one of those times where you get bored of the team that's like blowing everyone out, and you're like looking for other teams that might win, and like no one's going to beat this team. So I'm kind of in that boat right now. But someone bet us from 4-1 to 275 on North Dakota State. So I'm kind of sticking my neck out here on James Madison.
They have a winning culture up there in Fargo.
I know
Fargo?
this.
Or what's East Grand Forks? Is that the other school? That might be UND.
No, it is in Fargo, right?
It's all like the same thing. It's all the same mess. Dude, you should drive to Fargo sometime. It's a miserable drive up through the Dakotas.
One of my buddies had a wedding up there. Well, that alone is pretty miserable in itself, but like his girlfriend lived up there. But my buddy Casey was telling me, like, I've been to Fargo one time, and I'll only go there one time. And that was the conversation. We started talking about something else right after that.
Yeah, there's an interstate, and it goes right through Brookings, South Dakota, Sioux Falls too. You keep going north, you're gonna hit Fargo. Eventually, you'll hit Winnipeg, and between all that, there's very little to see. Like those are like the 3 stops. It's a miserable drive, Mo. So, all right, I'll let you go get off to your holidays. I'll thank you for joining me on this unique time on a Wednesday afternoon. I appreciate your insights, your thoughts, your analysis, your insider look at some of this, your horseshit long shot FCS picks.
It might have been one of the worst long shots of all time. I just want that cut out. This should not be live.
What? East Tennessee? You gave it out.
I know. I'm regretting it. Like 20 seconds later, I'm not regretting it.
Oh, I should bet one too. All right, STSU. Go Jacks. Go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Jacks, baby.
Jacks,
everyone's going to bet Jacks. They're going to all bet
Jacks
no matter what.
They have a decent draw. They're in that bottom bracket there.
They'll be favored against all those teams. I think even Villanova. Like they'll be favored.
They'll come out of that Nova bracket.
I'm sure, yeah. Well, they have to play Sam Houston State. Well, that's the rematch of the championship in the spring.
Dead. They're dead. So, all right, I'm gonna cut you loose.
All right, my man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Blame it on the goose. So yeah, we'll talk. I'll text. See you, bud.
All right, man.
Oh, I gotta hit the music here. Hold up. We don't have producer Dan today. I'm doing everything. All right, get ready for the jams. Oh.